What's up everybody, Kinetic here and welcome back to Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls. In this video I was going to do a simple progress report on how my hardcore witch doctor is doing here in Season 2, but I was thinking of a different subject for this video, something much more in-depth and probably a lot more interesting than just talking about my progress in Diablo 3. I want to talk about kind of the evolution of gaming culture, of information consumption from the early days in gaming to kind of how it is now. I want to talk about content providers like myself, people that do YouTube videos, people that do live streaming, websites and blogs and stuff like that, and specifically about tips, tricks, guides, videos, how to do this, how to do that, how to, for example, in Diablo 3, how to farm experience faster, how to get more legendaries, how to be more efficient with your blood shards, and all these different stuff. There is a ton of content out there from a bunch of different content providers. I'll even name a few of them because I'm not worried that you're gonna go leave me to subscribe to them, because chances are if you're watching Diablo 3 content here on YouTube on my videos, then you already know about these guys and are subscribed to them, or you should be, because I think their content is actually really good. So for example, a couple of guys to name off, Moldrin. Moldrin has been doing D3 content for quite some time. I remember I actually discovered him from his, what was it, his Guild War 2 videos on playing a warrior, which I thought were pretty interesting and helped to inspire me, while I was also at the same time doing very similar videos for Guild Wars 2. There's also another guy, Riker, who does a lot of really cool videos on YouTube. He's got a real serious, deep, kind of jazz radio voice when he talks. I think he missed his calling. He should have been a radio DJ with that voice. Who else? Another guy that I discovered kind of recently. What's his name? Quinn69. Really, kind of a goofy guy from. I think he's from New Zealand. Him and his mathematician buddy, like Moldrin, just do crazy like Google spreadsheets on all this number crunching and mathematics and formulas and all this stuff, and it's just, it's wild. And I got to a point, like, while looking at content like that, not just these guys, but content as a whole for lots of different games on YouTube and across the internet as a whole, and I thought to myself, is this necessary? Do we really need this? Is it helping us, or is it actually hurting us as regular players for games? Let me take you back to a long time ago. I'm an old school gamer now, I suppose. I was in middle school and I was really excited, like many other kids were, about Mortal Kombat. And when Mortal Kombat 2 came out, or was coming out, so many of us were just super pumped and excited for this game. We couldn't wait to find out more about the new characters, about the new combos and stuff like that. And our main source of information back then, because we didn't have the internet, imagine that, there was no internet back then, like on the level that there is today, where you could just go to a website and look up how to perform these combos. No, we had magazines like GamePro. You know, we would go to the section where they've got featured for how to do the combos for, you know, these various characters. And I think back then, that level of information, and at the time, I think it was extremely helpful, if not necessary, to help build up the game's available information and build up the community as a whole to make us all more proficient at the game and to be better. Because without that, like, without those magazines or whatever, that information from whatever source back then, if we couldn't have that information, it was extremely difficult to even play the game, let alone try and compete against somebody else who was already playing the game. Imagine, you know, trying to play Mortal Kombat as a beginner against somebody that knows how to play the game, knows all the combos. You get absolutely wrecked trying to fight against guys that know how to do that stuff. And again, without these magazines and stuff like that, you were just about hopeless to be able to understand the game and how to get these combos off and do the fatalities. It was pretty essential actually to have that information to make us better as gamers. Now let's go back here to modern gaming. Now we have tons more information from all of these different avenues, mainly through the internet, right? We have websites, we have blogs, we definitely have YouTube, right? And all these guys that I was just mentioning who make this content to give players information on how to do all these different things. But now, is it too much? Is it really necessary that we have all of this different stuff? I'm not talking shit about these guys and what they do. Again, those content creators and what they do I think is amazing and definitely has purpose and meaning and value, and is way above what I could probably do for Diablo 3 content. But is it helpful, or is it actually hurting a lot of gamers? Let me explain this, why I think it's actually kind of harmful now to a lot of players. You see, it's not the content itself. I'm not saying that the content in the form of helping people is inherently bad. Absolutely not. But what I'm noticing, and I see this especially with my Dragon Age Inquisition videos, people come to my build videos or whatever, and they start asking questions, and it's absolutely clear that they haven't even tried playing the game. It's in the way that they're saying it. Or maybe they're pretty much saying it flat out that they haven't even played the game yet, and already they're looking for what's the best class, what's the best weapons, what's the best party composition, how do I do this, how do I do that, and stuff like that. And I'm thinking to myself, what the hell? What is going on? Why are you even here? You should be playing the game. You should be loading up Dragon Age right now and just playing the game, because it's not that hard to discover this stuff on your own naturally. You know, like many game developers, you know, BioWare and Blizzard, Diablo 3 is the same. You know, the difficulty curve in these games is, it's really easy to get a hold of, right? Compared to, for example, let's say Mortal Kombat or whatever, and, you know, pick up and play it, try it out, learn some stuff, and then get better over time. And then maybe at some point, you know, you will be trying to do really hard rifts or really hard dragon fights or World of Warcraft or MMOs in general. You know, maybe trying to do some really difficult dungeons and raids and stuff like that. At that point, I think that's when the information that we as content providers should be consumed, more or less, right? And is becoming more essential to the experience in playing and understanding the game and how to get better at it. But what I'm seeing as a really disturbing trend, again, and really disappointing, is I see so many gamers now are just going straight to the information sources and are consuming all of this information before they've played the game, even before they've even bought the game, right? And I can understand wanting to make a smart purchase, right? There's so many games out there that I think have been disappointing people more and more. I think it's actually putting stress on us as gamers to want to find out more information about a game before we buy it, so that way we know we're not wasting our money. But I think there's some serious consequences to getting into the habit and the conditioning of doing that, looking for information, looking for tips and tricks, gameplays, guides, and all of this stuff, especially before you even played the game, especially before you've even purchased the game, right? Because what are you doing, right? What you're doing is you're spoiling it for yourself. Spoilers used to, you know, I suppose, or generally is something that people kind of look at as sort of story related, right? Don't spoil it for me. Oh, I don't want to know how the game ends or what happens to this character. I don't want to know that the character dies and stuff like that. But spoiling can be applied to just the experience, I think, as a whole for the game. Let me talk back to Diablo 3, right? There's all this information that we as content providers give people, and again, there's nothing inherently wrong about the availability of this information, but when players consume too much of this too early, they are in fact spoiling it for themselves, and they may not even realizing it. maybe they don't even care, right? Maybe I'm talking for no reason at all, and lots, if not most players are still going to go out there and they're going to look for all of this information. They're going to look for gameplay videos, guides, tips and tricks. They're going to watch live streams for hours and hours on end before they've even purchased the game, before they've even played the game. But I truly believe that this is a negative trend in gaming for us as a whole. We should really, I think personally, go back to a time and a way of just, you know, okay, maybe looking at the game, look at a little bit of information, but, you know, wait and then play the game. Right? Play the game first, get to understand the game, and when you get to a point where maybe you're stuck or you're struggling or something like that, then start looking for more information. This requires, I guess, a bit of discipline, and when you think of gaming and discipline, it's like, what? Why should I be disciplined when it comes to gaming? Gaming is supposed to be fun and free, and I should be just allowed to do whatever. Woo! Whatever. And yeah, fine, do that, I guess. But consider the consequences. Consider how much of something you are consuming before you've even had a chance to have it yourself, and how that may be negatively interfering with your experience, right? All these guys that, for example, are looking for all this information on Dragon Age Inquisition for my videos and stuff like that, I really think need to just get the hell off my videos and go play the game, right? Same for Diablo 3. I'm sure this applies to when Diablo 3 launched, when the expansion came out, probably every single patch. There's people that are out there looking too much, too hard, too fast for information that they don't need. Just play the game, I think, is the best way to go about it. And maybe this is just me. Maybe it's just because I'm an old school gamer. Maybe it's because I'm casual. I don't know. Even though I'm playing on hardcore, maybe I'm just casual like that. Maybe that's why I prefer self-found over trading in ARPGs. I mean, if I got nothing really against trading, you know, and actually this can really be applied very closely to that. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with trading in Diablo 3 at some point later, but if you are doing trading, if you're being given legendaries as a new gamer, some friend of yours just says, hey, look, here's the whole set of the Jade Harvester for your Witch Doctor or something like that. They're really, and the Blizzard developers have said this as well, it's really spoiling the experience, right? And then that's just one example of players spoiling themselves or being spoiled by having too much information or too much access to stuff too early, when really half the fun, I think, and this is what game developers are designing their games around, is that players are going to play it first and then try and figure out this stuff later. I wonder now also if it's just too late, right? It's just too late. This is not just a trend, but this is becoming the norm, that players are looking for all of this information first without playing the game, without actually trying it. And then how does that also, as a consequence, affect game developers and how they make games when they know that there's so much of this information that players are going to be, you know, looking for first to experience the game before they've even had a chance to play it. I think I'm gonna hold off rambling any more than this, but that's my invitation for you guys out there as gamers. I invite you to, for your next purchase, or for whatever game that you're looking forward to or something like that, just completely cut yourself off, right, from information about it, right? Stop watching gameplay, stop watching live streams, stop going to those websites and YouTube videos that are showing the game. Just wait for it, right? This is what I'm doing to myself. Like, for example, with Metal Gear Phantom Pain, right? I don't want to see any more trailers. I don't want any more information, because when I pick up and I play that game for the first time, I want to be as fresh of a virgin to it as I possibly can. I don't want to know who these characters are already before I've even played the game or what the gameplay is like. I want to experience it for myself, and I think that if more players do that, if more players give that a chance, and you know, just be a little bit patient with it, then they will experience it like that and remember how much fun that is, or learn to enjoy it like that. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What do you think about this subject? How do you feel about the availability of all this information, the gaming culture's evolution into, you know, looking for all this information first before making purchases and stuff like that? Let me know what you think in the comment section. And in the next video, I hope to actually talk about gameplay here in Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls, and not just rant and ramble about stuff like this. Click the like button to support these Diablo 3 videos here on my channel, and stay subscribed. More is coming up soon. Thanks again for watching. My name is Kinetic, and I'll see you next time.